Hello guys and welcome back to a brand new episode. Episode 36 of our Satisfactory Let's Play, and today we're going to be sorting out this. So we need to connect this heavy oil residue up with the refineries that we placed in last week's episode. And there are 84 in total, so this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. But first of all, before we connect all of that up, I need to make sure that I've sorted out all the inputs and the outputs so that we can produce this diluted packaged fuel. So here we are, we have finally done all of the pipe work and also all of the belting underneath. The next thing that we need to do are all the mergers along the bottom. So you can see the mergers that we've got here. We're going to do this all along the rest of them and then bring them all, taking the diluted packaged fuel along. The only thing that I'm slightly concerned about is how we're going to bring the water up. I think we might be able to do a manifold to the left of these pipes and then just ramp them up. But I want to have a walkway at about this height on each of the sides. So we might struggle a little. I'm gonna play with that now. So it's just occurred to me that I should probably show you how we're actually belting all of this up. And what I've done is I've run one of these through here, and then we're going to run this up and then delete this. And then on the other side, we'll also have this merging line run up to here, although this is going to be a Mark V. So it's going to look like that, and then we're going to cover this up with, we can just grab this one. It's here, and hopefully this isn't going to clip too much, but we are going to also have a barrier along here. So that's how we're going to do this. So we're back here, and as you can see, we've been working on this walkway, and this is originally what we had planned. However, because with Smart we can now clip things, like if we place this, you can see we can't place anything here. What I've decided to do is actually to create this kind of border system around the whole build. It's taken us a lot more time, but I'm liking this approach. So we're just gonna place that, delete this, cover that. Then again, we have to do the same here, but with this, so it's straight on, like so. And then finally here. So it's like that. And we get this pretty clean look. So the next thing that we need to do after we've done all of these is to actually do the wiring, which I think will run down the middle. I think that's gonna work. So we've finally done it. We've now done all of the walkways, and as you can see, it's looking pretty clean. I still need to power everything, but that's not gonna take too much work. And what we'll do is we'll add the power poles onto the walkway itself, or if that doesn't look particularly good, we'll actually do them underneath so that the lines are going up by the elevators. But we are certainly one step closer to hitting our finished factory, or at least the diluted fuel factory. I'm really happy with how this is coming on. So what we're doing today is going to be connecting all of, actually these should be placed directly in front. So we're gonna place that there and then run across to here and do the same. And we're gonna do this for each of the refineries, so that hopefully it'll look pretty clean, and we're also going to add all of the recipes as well. So here we are with the finished factory, and as you can see, we've got all the cabling done, we've got everything, all the recipes selected, and we've also got all the walkways done. I'm thinking about possibly, well, I can't actually. I was going to say putting the walls along the bottom. We can, but we can't. We can't because they're both inputs and outputs. And as you can see, we have now finished this. We've got it all cabled up, and we've also done all of the recipe selection. So we're doing all the packaged diluted fuel, and this is going to be unpackaged and then sent off to become to be used in the generators. So the next thing that we need to think about is the packaging of the fuel, but also packaging of the water, sorry, but also the unpackaging plant, which will recycle those containers. So let's get on to that. You can see here that we're bringing the diluted packaged fuel lines down towards the packages once again, and that's because we're going to add another row of packages here specifically for unpackaging the fuel, and that's just going to mean that we can have really like tight recycling of the containers, the packages, so that they can be used for the water again. And then we'll have to have the fuel plant. Oh, we've frozen. I hope that's a save and not a crash. Apparently it was just a save. And we will have I think all of the generators just along this section down here on a diagonal Yes, that sounds nice. Well, let's get to it. So now that we've doubled up the size of this grid, we're now going to add the other water, packages, but we're going to do the exact same build the opposite way around here. So what will happen is that we'll have the packaged fuel come along here, then go to packages which will decant or unpackage the fuel to go to fuel generators, which will be behind and over here. But the rest of the fuel will go, the rest of the packages will feed straight into these lines, which means these need to all turn around so that we have this cycle of recycling the packages, the containers. So that's the first thing that we need to do. We need another 78 of these, or we'll just do 80. So what we're doing here is adding a merging line just before what will be these. We're going to turn these around so that we can actually add our containers to a industrial container here, so it loads up, and that way we won't need to produce them here. And once it's all settled in, once everything's running, we should be able to just leave it to do its own thing. So we have now reworked this packaging area so that everything flows down towards the water extractors, with the exception of this one line. The reason for that is, if we go all the way over to here, we're going to need each of these 6 lines to be bringing all of that packaged water to these 6 lines down here. There is one slight problem. I actually need 720 water on each of these lines, and currently there's only 600. So my next job is to take this water and somehow split it between those 6 further down the line. Not really looking forward to that, but we should be able to do a simple load balance. It's just merging it all before it reaches the lines. But yeah, it's coming along quite nicely, actually. The next thing for us to do after that, of course, is also to place the other packages in this section here, which is where we will be unpackaging that diluted fuel so that we can run those fuel generators. And then hopefully, if all goes well, all of the empty canisters will just be fed back into this system. So we'll be recycling it all. As with everything else, we want to recycle what we can in game. So as you can see, guys, we've now got the last 10 packages, packaging water to be brought along this line, then split between 6 lines to connect all the way along here to the 6 lines underneath to feed into the refineries over there for the diluted packaged fuel. Now, I did realize that we have 10 packages per line, and we actually need a total of 12 to be split into those 6 lines. So what I've done is I've taken these 2 packages here and brought them and run them underneath this line back to the first 10 that are splitting them all. That means that these 8 will be merged together and then fed over to this section over here to become the diluted packaged fuel. Which means afterwards we can actually work on the other 80 odd packages that we need for this section for unpacking the diluted packaged fuel. I'd like to say this is clean and neat, but it's not that clean and neat, but it works. Took us a bit of work to doing, but you can see how it all merges. We've got 2 lines on each one merging into one, and then all of these are running across to these refineries. So we're just finishing off, and now all of these, though I haven't finished belting this, are set to unpackaging fuel. So we're just going to connect all of these belts up now, and then we're going to worry about the inputs, which we can either run, maybe along here and then have them split off, or probably better is to run them up to the top and then down. But we're actually going to have liquids going that way, which I also need to do. That's going to be the next thing, actually. Sorting out the liquid outputs. So you can see here, we have now done those. Oh dear, Total, what is this? What is this? There we go, much better. As you can see, we have now done all of these packages, and they're all going to be fed by the packaged diluted fuel from over there. So you can see we've got the Mark V belts here for the packages, but also they're all going to be coming on from this area. I say that, we've got 6 belts here. We've got 8. 6, 8. I think we might have to do some load balancing. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and we've also got 1 line on the other side. I think we've got 7 in total. we're going to work out how we can load balance this into these. It shouldn't be too difficult. But after that, we're going to work on some decoration. I was thinking over here and just playing around with the idea of having a glass floor so that we could see everything working underneath being taken along. We might do something of a similar style over in those sections as well. So we just need to work out how we can make this all fit into an actual factory, because I think this bit should be housed. I'm definitely thinking that once I've actually finished this, we're going to need to do like a cinematic section of all of this diluted package plant, because I'm loving this. So as you can see, we've now routed all of the excess diluted packaged fuel from the other side of the refineries to this side, which then comes out here and goes down and underneath the bridge. Now it is in the middle because that one only has half the amount of resources that the others have. So I'm just a little bit concerned as to splitting. So if we have it in the middle, we can split it either way that we need. I've also done this little bit of a canal after, which I think is looking really nice, but we haven't yet merged those lines with these because I'm a little bit concerned on the spacing and I want a good amount of time to do that. So that will be the next thing to do in the next episode. But we have done a little bit to the decoration. You can see on the other side we've done these little panels. I think they look pretty cool, but we're going to obviously have to parallel this on the other side, and then I think we'll do a massive roof across the whole of this build, and then after we'll have to somehow integrate that with the other section behind it. But I'm really liking how this is coming along, and hopefully when everything is set up it will work perfectly. We just need to find the power to do it, because this is going to take a lot. I mean, this whole factory is going to take a huge amount of resources, and I'm really not sure how we're going to power this straight away. We might have to use the excess packed fuel that we already have, but we will see. Anyway, that is all we have time for in this one. If you did enjoy the episode, please do drop a thumbs up, and obviously if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Special thanks does go to all of our supporters, most notably our Solar Eclipse patrons, The Calamity and Cerebral Tag, as well as our Lunar Eclipse patrons, Dixie Chris and James Irwin, as well as our Blood Moon of the day, which today is Jonah Dent. Anyway guys, until next time, as always, ciao for now.